Hi. Today I want to talk about. I've kind of been reading through the comments. I haven't made a video in a while, but so much has happened in the sense of just growth. Been working with some new techniques, and I wanted to share them because they work for me. So you can use it as a permission slip for it to do the same for you. I hope you do. And if not, share whatever ones are working for you. I love hearing techniques. So, for the past couple of years, I've been doing this, trying to implement this idea as much as possible. And I got it originally from the Carlos Castaneda books, which if you haven't checked those out, I would definitely recommend them. They're about an anthropologist who ends up studying Toltec sorcery in Mexico, and they're all autobiographical, written by Carlos Castaneda. Really awesome. Changed my life in a lot of ways. But anyway, one of the techniques they talk about in there for being able to get your vibration to what you want and being able to overcome the emotional body, it's pretty much interweaving you with your ego, is to use death as an advisor. And I'm not sure if I've talked about any of this stuff before. Probably have. I've been doing it for a while, and it really is awesome. So the way that it works, if you haven't heard it before, is to use death as an advisor is essentially whatever you're doing, take a second and think about if you're going to die tonight, how will you experience what you're experiencing, right? So at first, you might be scared of death. You might not have had a lot of thoughts about death, and that's a shame because death is the main motivator to live. So with this technique, what you can do is you can, let's say you're hugging someone. It's an awesome example always, and you're pissed off at your partner, and they want a hug. Give them a hug, and then think, well, what if this was the last hug I was ever going to get before I died? What would I do? Thoroughly enjoy it. You'd relax. There would be no past. There would be no anxiety about the future, no judgment. You would just simply be. So this technique, I've been using it for everything for a couple of years, and finally I just mixed a couple techniques I've been working on together, and I came up with a technique I'm currently using, which is, I don't really have a name for it. Let's call it the daily death. And the way that it works is similar to that idea, but it's implementing the belief system that every single day your spirit is born and then it dies. And tomorrow, the spirit that comes into the same body is your child spirit. The day after that is your grandchild from today, right? So you're only alive for one day. And so this implements this perspective permanently. Hold on. Awesome. Which gives you this sort of excitement that happens when you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, this is the first and only day I'm going to be alive. What do I want to do? And it has seriously changed my life, because the way I've been applying it has been every single thing that I see, from all the plants to the rocks to making this video. This is the only video I'm probably ever going to make in this lifetime that lasts this day. So what this does is it allows you to experience everything. It's kind of a manual override to allow you to experience whatever you're experiencing in your highest vibration, which I think at this point everyone's kind of trying to experience the highest vibration they can with everything. So what this can give you is it can give you permanent day-by-day permission slip to experience whatever you're experiencing in the highest vibration possible. Because if you think, well, I'm going to die, what do I want to do? I only have $50 in my bank account. Rent's due in a couple days. It doesn't matter. That's a problem for your grandchild, you know? So what you do, I mean, I've just been like, okay, well, I'm only alive for one day. I want to go out for breakfast. I want to do this. I want to experience this. And you have this level of, like, gratitude for all the plants and animals because they're only there for one day to interact with you, to be there for you, to reflect to you who you are. So every interaction with a person, you're meeting a version of them that's only in that body for one day. It just makes every relationship fresh. It makes the conversations fresh. You don't judge things based off the past, which is like the biggest hook we can get caught on. So this perspective, I don't know. If anyone else tries it and they think it's awesome, good. Because it has made my life into such a sweet adventure of treasure hunts and just surfing, doing whatever, to there's no fear. Because the only fear comes from failure, right? Fear of death. So if you're going to die that night, from your perspective, you can do anything. You just become a yes man. It helps socially too, because you don't judge people when you see their self-imposed limitations, and when you see them projecting their insecurities onto you. It's okay, you know? It's just, everything becomes okay. So, that's the perspective, and I hope that you love it. And leave me comments about it. I see a lot of people are arguing back and forth about just different types of intelligence too. And intelligence, you know, it's one of those things where everyone wants to fucking be intelligent. Everyone thinks that the answer to everything is being really, really smart. And even if you have so much knowledge, everyone has knowledge they throw around. Words from textbooks, from classes, gurus. And, you know, it's one of those things where as long as you are just spouting off knowledge and you're not applying it, then you're cheating yourself from wisdom, which is the only thing, which is applied knowledge. And so you can talk and argue all day about, you know, how people are smart, who's smarter, different races that are smarter. And at the end of the day, it just comes down to, are you able to be aware of what your soul is here to do, what your self-imposed limitations are, and are you brave enough to go into them and face them? And if you are, then intelligence is nothing, because intelligence is just singular human perspectives trying to validate themselves, and no single human perspective is that great, is that big. But once you start relaxing into stuff and start basically releasing your demons, you start to accumulate a massive amount of perspectives that are all cross-referencing each other in everything that you do. And as INTJs, if INTJs are listening to this, they know all about that. See how it is. You walk into a room and you see things from every angle, and if you see a person who has a perspective that you don't have, you absorb that perspective. It's kind of like Mega Man in a way. But I don't know. Just something to think about. Because at the end of the day, you can't talk your way into a state of satisfaction. And arguing with people about satisfaction is, what's that going to do? They're only going to reflect to you exactly where you're at. So anything that you would ever yell at another person, yell it at yourself. Because there's a good chance. That's why it's coming up. But try the perspective out, and if you like it, let me know. And if you have other perspectives, sweet. These are all kind of part of a little series, I guess, that I'm doing where, you know, once you learn how to control the emotions, your perspectives, they become temporary, and they become super malleable. And in doing so, that's where the magic in the world starts. Because what you believe isn't necessarily based off factual truths or what other people have agreed upon. Group agreements. It's just, how do you want to feel in that moment? What do you want to believe in that moment to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish as far as releasing yourself from pain and enjoying the perfection that is everywhere all the time. Can't argue your way there as much as we want to, as much as we're capable of doing that. But just try the perspective out and mix it with the alchemist breath, and the outcomes are, you can move so much energy permanently that has been blocking you. It is just so awesome. So, just give it a try and let me know. Namaste.